Hello! Thanks for clicking on the video. My name is Olivia, aka Biblio Obscura, and I'm gonna be doing an August TBR today. Better late than never, I guess. The frustrating and cool thing about being on BookTube for like my first year is every month I am surprised by readathons that I didn't know existed. So I picked a few books originally that I was really looking forward to reading, and I have already started those books, but then I also have books that I've added since I've heard about certain readathons that I couldn't pass up. So I feel like I have some books that I like really want to read, but they just get pushed off to the next month because they don't fit like certain prompts. Sorry for the weird lighting and whatever. I mean, normally I put on makeup and do my nails and shit, but all of that is in Boston, where I'm moving to. If you watched my last video, I kind of talked about that. So the crates are gone, the thrills are gone, even my little ring light is gone, so I'm just, you know, serving you a fresh face au naturel. So yeah, that's just what's going on today. So August, I'm currently reading Malice, which is a Sleeping Beauty retelling. Sleeping Beauty is, after Mulan, my favorite Disney movie, because like even as a child, first of all, I thought Aurora was like the most beautiful princess and she was stunning and I just loved her, but also I loved Maleficent, and to this day I aspire to be as evil and petty and have as wonderful a laugh as Maleficent. The person who voiced Maleficent actually like voiced a few different villains, which is a goal, to be honest. I want my voice to be as epic and just like ooze like that regal evilness that like I aspire to have in life. But anyways, Malice. So I'm about like 3/4 of the way through this book and I'm really enjoying it. Basically, Sleeping Beauty retelling, as I said, but queer, and there's a lot of really cool world building with magic. Even though I'm not finished, I would already say like it's definitely worth a read. It has almost 500 pages, I think, and usually I read like 200-page books and I'm breezing through this, so I would really recommend it. The other book I had already planned to read was Split Tooth. How do I describe this book? This is like one of those books where you hear about it on BookTube and you hear about it from like a few different people and you're like, I absolutely need to read this book, and you forget like what it's even about. But it says, veering back and forth between the grittiest features of a small Arctic town, the electrifying proximity of the world of animals, and ravishing world of myth, Tanya Tagaq explores a world where the distinctions between good and evil, animal and human, victim and transgressor, real and imagined, lose their meaning, but the guiding power of love remains. Aww. Haunting, brooding, exhilarating, and tender all at once. Tagaq moves effortlessly between fiction and memoir, myth and reality, poetry and prose, and conjures a world and a heroine readers will never forget. Apparently I can't speak today, but it also has these beautiful like blood red edges, which excites me as well. I might listen to the audiobook with this, because now that I'm remembering the plot, I think that like there's like some throat singing that happens as well if you listen to the audiobook, so I might try that too. Okay, so on to the list of books I want to read. It might seem like a lot, but majority of these books are like around 200 pages, so I should breeze through them.
Unless they're fucking boring. I can't.
Seeing that it was the Spooky Smart Bitch Readathon by Jordaline and the Women in Translation Readathon, I'll leave like all of the videos below that link to the announcement of these readathons. So I'll start with the books that I was going to read for the Spooky Smart Bitch Readathon. So the first book, and this is not a joke, is Never Have I Ever by Isabel Yap. I'm reading it. If you've watched my videos before, most anticipated book of the year. I bought it, which I never do. It's sitting on my shelf, and it looks amazing. It's a bunch of horror and sci-fi short stories. Some of them are speculative fiction, some of them are queer, some of them are related to Filipino folklore. So I'm definitely reading this. If I don't read this, I give you permission to like kick down my door, which would be terrifying but also awesome. Next is A Dowry of Blood, which oh my god, when I saw the cover of that book, like, it was all over for me. I had to read it. Like, even if the book is shit, like, I was gonna read it. But like, I've heard a lot of good things from everyone. I think Chloe first put this on my radar. I think it's about Dracula, but unfortunately, like, he seems like a creeper version of Dracula, where he like turns this younger woman and then he like betrays her and gets like a bunch of other women. But I don't know, I think it's told from her perspective, and you see how she bests him or something. I don't know, I'm excited. Next is Goddess of Filth, which I saw Olivia talk about, and it seemed like she really enjoyed it. This is about a group of like teenage women who are doing a seance and they accidentally summon like a goddess or something, I don't know, something like very powerful, and like one of them starts speaking in like this Aztec language. I think it was like Nahuatl or something, and it just goes from there. So it sounds really awesome. Giving the Craft vibes, although, you know, I watched that and I feel like that might be one of those movies that like, I still liked it, but I feel like it's one of those movies that like, if you see it when you're a teenager, you could like really latch on to it, but like if you watched it later, it wouldn't be like your favorite thing. I don't know, I don't like people being mean to each other. Don't hate me, but you know, that's my take, and but I'm still like excited for this book. Comment below if you have a movie that like you were obsessed with as a teenager, but now like looking back on it, you know, you wouldn't have the same attachment. I feel like there's like different levels to this. Like there are some movies that like really like helped you grow and are still there in your heart, and then there are movies that like are just ridiculous and they just remain for nostalgia purposes. Like my movie like that is Boondock Saints, because I really loved people getting punished outside the law. But you know, does that movie hold up? I don't know. So a lot of the books I just listed are written by women or have queer characters or elements, and some of them are written by BIPOC authors. So those were all parts of the Spooky Smart Bitch Readathon that are covered by a lot of the books that I've chosen. Also, one of the other categories was like a graphic novel, so I had 2 picks for that. I have the one that like everyone whose TBR I watched picked. I'm gonna have to agree with everyone because the illustration style just looks gorgeous, and the plot is that this like demon, I think, takes in like this young human girl and is like raising her, and that just warms the cockles of my dead heart. So I will be reading The Girl from the Other Side, and I also picked out When I Arrived at the Castle, which has like a gothic vibe, obviously, because there are castles, so we have that setting. But I think that this girl goes to the castle to like hunt a vampire, and they end up somehow like entangling, and there's lots of like juicy sapphic seduction, which I'm excited for. I do love a good vampire book. I think I like watching like those trope videos that people do, and two of my horror tropes are definitely like vampires and gothic settings, which is the problem when I was trying to choose. One of the prompts is also like read a true crime or a true history that happened, and I'm not a true crime person at all. Like, it's not that I like won't watch it, but I'm never like, you know what, I want to like know the inner workings of a serial killer's mind. No, like if it's like a woman like hacking up her husband who abused her or something, like, yes, I like those kind of things, but I don't know, I've never been a true crime person, so I saw that and I was like, oh, I tried to find like a story of a haunting written or something, but a lot of them were like, yeah, just like watch the movie, because this like person that experienced the haunting didn't like do a great job of writing a book. But I think I'm just gonna read Jordaline's pick for this one, which is Communion. It's supposed to be about Guy's experience of alien abduction, which sounds pretty cool. I've never read a first-hand account of abduction before, so I'm interested. Oh, there's also Skinfolk, which is another like short story compilation, horror, sci-fi, Caribbean folklore. Apparently some are saucy, and I love the cover, and I don't know, I'll just have to see like what the specific stories are about. The group pick for this book is The Taking of Jake Livingston, which is apparently about this like high school boy who can like see dead people, and this like evil spirit who like shot up the school or something realizes he can see dead people and is like harassing him or something. I don't know. So I'll be reading that as well. Okay, now just a few picks that are women in translation. So the book for the Women in Translation Challenge is Minor Detail, which is about just that. The author is like drilling down into and investigating like this very specific incident that happened. So this takes place in 1948 in like occupied Palestine. A Palestinian woman is raped and killed, and the author looks at that in the longer history of occupation and violence in Palestine. My picks were Ghost Bride, which I guess takes place in China, where there is like this tradition that if somebody passes away, you can still like promise yourself to that person. So this girl doesn't have the best prospects, and her family like marries her to this dead guy. I guess it's to try to appease his spirit. And so she's like there in this weird like ghost marriage, and then also there's like somebody else she's like falling for, I think. So it just sounds like really cool and eerie. The next one is The White Book. I think I saw Kat talk about this book, and really like I get so many amazing women in translation recs from Kat. So I guess this author, Hong Kong, has a lot of other great books, but I want to start with The White Book. And this book is apparently about grief, but also through the lens of the color white, which like that alone is interesting to me. There's this other book I really want to read called Bluettes that's really about the color blue. So, you know, just give me a color and motif and I'm interested. I feel like sometimes you hear people talk about books and their description just gets you so interested, and then like when I was preparing for this video, I'm like, oh, like some of these I don't even remember what they were about, but I remember like the feeling of them and like the genre and like the experience I thought like I would get reading them. So yeah, like I trust my past self, but it was interesting like trying to talk about some of these. The next one is like Water for Chocolate. This is set in Mexico. A girl is falling in love with a boy who she's like forbidden to fall in love with, and there's magical realism and magic food, I think. I don't know. Everyone seems to love this book, and another Olivia I follow gave it a good rating, so I trust that. It seems like a pure read, and I'm gonna have all these like dark things going on, so a little levity is always good sometimes. So next is The Elegance of a Hedgehog. I like read the description when I was looking for books by women in translation, and it just seemed vibey. Like all the comments were like, oh, if you love like arts and philosophy and you're a dreamer, and I was like, who, me? And it just seemed like a very romantic book, so it may suck and I only have myself to blame, but like I did not retain the plot, I just retained the vibes. I hope you're having a great day or night and doing a lot of reading and escaping to weird, magical, questionable, horrific worlds. Thanks for watching.